we got to talk about this Verzuz episode that, I'm going to be honest with you, I found to be in complete embarrassment with the exception of Mario. Hey everyone, it's your girl, Miss Little Cool. Yes, I know I am behind with the reviews. I am certainly going to do the review for Jesse Lee Peterson, okay? I'm in the process of looking at it again to take notes down. Now, the reason why I'm doing the Verzuz ahead is because the Verzuz is still trending. So usually after 3 days, if you don't post or talk about it, they don't really promote the video. So I gotta get this in while it's still hot. I literally just finished watching it. It took me 2 days. That's how draining it was. I had to take breaks from it. I didn't even get a chance to even watch the full thing because rayj, I'm sorry, he to me, it was useless to have him and to have the other people there. But hey, it is what it is. But we're going to get into that. Now, first of all, this was a night of R&B. The headliners were Omarion versus Mario. Now, I feel, this is just me, I feel that was not the best mashup. The best mashup would have been Mario and Lloyd. And I'm going to tell you why. They were both, even though Lloyd started out in a group, like Mario started out in a group, but the difference between the two is that both of them, when they made it famous, they were solo acts. So they had hits, but their catalog is similar. For instance, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 albums each. And they have something that Mario does not have on his own. I mean, that Omarion doesn't have on his own. Omarion does not have a solo #1 single. And before people come at me with this, I am not talking about iTunes. iTunes is not the official chart. The official chart is Billboard, whether it's the Hot 100, whether it's R&B, whether it's rap. Now, Omarion having a hit with Bow Wow, he's a feature. So Let Me Hold You Down, although it went #1, it's not his standalone #1. Mario and Lloyd, they have a #1 single that was also top on the Billboard Hot 100, and Mario has a #1 hit that was #1 not only in America, but it was #1 on the world chart. You gotta just look it up. Lloyd has a #1 single with You, #1 R&B, #8 pop. Okay. And they both have gold albums, platinum albums. Omarion has gold, but he doesn't have platinum, okay? Now, here's where I'm going to start. I didn't have an issue with them having Bobby Valentino, because Bobby Valentino has hits. He has features. But I would have preferred Bobby Valentino over an Omarion as opposed to Omarion and Mario. Now, it did sell, but I feel as though the first thing, if you was going to have Bobby Valentino, you should have had someone who competed with him. You should have had somebody who had a similar career. Sammie, in my opinion, that was just you putting him with Pleasure P, which was smart because they don't have that many hits. But the thing about it is you put Bobby Valentino with rayj. That was flag on a play. And I'm going to shout out Monty Boy Green for that because he says that a lot. And that just came to my thought. First of all, rayj does not have hits. Okay? He has 1, 2, 3 hits. Okay? Ray J has never had an album to go gold, let alone platinum. Bobby Valentino has. I would not put a person who's never gone gold against someone who has. That's just wrong. That's why I would say they should have had Bobby Valentino with Lloyd. But they wanted to interest the audience because they were a warm-up act to Omarion and Mario. So they put Ray J in there because they knew Ray J was going to be a clown. In my opinion, Ray J really, really, really messed up the Verzuz energy. Because what he did, he made it look like a sideshow. That whole Verzuz, I'm going to tell you what it was. That was about who was going to be able to come back on top and bring back credible R&B music like we had in the 2000s. We didn't need a person who is worth $50 million with the Raycon heavy earbuds, who didn't need. He doesn't need this. That's why he wasn't prepared vocally. And I'm going to get to the vocals, because in that round, Bobby Valentino really tried. And Bobby Valentino can play the piano. Okay? Sammie tried, but the problem that I had with Sammie is the appearance. If you're going to sing R&B, you got to have an R&B aesthetic. Bobby Valentino had that aesthetic, and Mario had the aesthetic. You cannot walk around with these dreads and you singing R&B. I'm sorry. And I mean, and it's not like the dreads are like fashion dreads. These dreads that they have on their heads now, it's just, oh my God. Oh God, it's not cute. It's not, it makes them look like they're drug users. And that's bad. It's not a good image. But Sammie is a talented vocalist. But I felt as though Sammie, he just needs to polish his vocals. Now, Sammie is an official songwriter. He's official on that. But Sammie, I feel, never got the proper promotion. I guess because maybe his mother and parents probably want him to still stay in school and finish his education after the first album. And then when he came back, even though he was still, fresh in people's minds, it's just that people, were getting used to him being a teenager, even though he was an adult at that time. That kind of messed him up. Pleasure P. I'm going to say this. Pleasure P, I like Pleasure P in terms of him being on Love and Hip Hop. I never really got into him being a vocalist. I have nothing against him. But the matchup between him and Sammie was perfect because of the type of catalog that they have. It's sort of minuscule when it comes to them as solo artists. But at least they were taking it serious. Bobby Valentino deserved much better. He did not deserve to have a Verzuz with Ray J. You don't put somebody there, as I said before, who doesn't need the money. First of all, Ray J, horrible vocals. Horrible vocals. Now I know the reason why he was never promoted as an R&B singer like the others. Because if you took away all the studio tech, he can't sing. And I've talked about his sister's vocals through the years. The sister made good music, but vocally in her prime, she was not a good singer. She's gotten better as an adult because she started training with people like Jennifer Lewis and other vocalists. And they basically was, they got that voice to where they realized she's an alto. So she has to sing low. It's better for her to sing low. Don't have her sing high, and that was a boy. And for the record, Brandy is not the vocal Bible. Okay? We have to stop that. We cannot let that go on. Because if anyone is the vocal Bible, Beehive, y'all know the truth. If you want to talk about from that generation, it is Beyonce. But if you want to go with people who may not be that big, to me, the vocal Bible is Fantasia and Jennifer Hudson. hands down. But Beyonce is in there. But Brandy is totally not there. Now, why I'm upset with Ray J is Ray J didn't take it serious, but you made Verzuz buffoonish. Those guys may not have the best vocals, but they did work hard and they prepared and they gave it their best. You didn't. And you blamed it on you carrying your son. Who the hell does that? And then this is what really got me. You was all over the place and you didn't care. And it was like you were doing it on purpose. You know, like at least when Omarion was all over the place, it wasn't like he was doing it to be a mess up and doing it just to be a buffoon. And I'm going to talk about his antics because I'm not excluding it. But at least it was sincere. What you did, you were just really making it look bad. And I think you did it because you didn't want the guys there to get a comeback. Okay? Because there are certain people in the industry, like certain talent, that don't want other people to make it big. They will sabotage. And I feel that Ray J was a plant. And he was there to sabotage the night for those artists. Okay? Now, I'm going to get to Omarion and Mario. I'm upset, number one, that I had to wait 2 hours until 2 hours and 17 minutes for those guys to come out and sing. Okay? First of all, Mario, shout out to him. I knew he was going to win. I've been a Mario fan for 20 years tops this month. When he made his debut on BET, okay? I will never forget where I was when I saw him on TV. I was at my childhood friend's house, and they was playing Just a Friend. Now, I had heard the song in passing when I was walking down the streets in Harlem, you know, going to the store, going to the movies and so forth, and hearing it. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. So when I saw the video of him, I never saw his face prior to that. I said, this song is going to be big, and he's going to be a big talent. I just pinpointed it. Then, a couple of months later, my friend met him just before we started at BMCC together. And she met him at the airport at JFK, and he was really cool. He was really nice. And at that time, he had just turned 16. Because when he dropped Just a Friend 2002, he was 15. Okay. It's been 20 years. That man never had a scandal. And he went through so much to get back to where he was with his mother, you know, passing away through the heroin. And, you know, having not bad record deals, but the industry changing on him. This young man had the number one song in the world with Let Me Love You, okay? And I'll never forget where I was when I first heard it. It was a Monday in October. It was a Monday morning on WBLS, and I'll tell you, it was 4:20 a.m. And I had woke up in the middle of the night because I used to play WBLS. And I heard it, and I'll never forget, Dr. Bob Lee said this is the new single from Mario. It's called Let Me Love You. Dropped it. I heard it. I said, this is going to be the smash. And that's going to be his signature song. And I heard it. I said, it's going to go number one all over the world. And sure enough, it did. Okay? I'm really good at predicting hits and predicting songs and predicting who's going to be a big talent and who isn't going to really stand the test of time. But whereas with Mario really was prepared and he came to win. Omarion, on the other hand, we're going to say this. Omarion proved that he was a gimmick. He was gimmicky. And I'm going to explain. Omarion can dance when it comes to hip hop. He can dance and do other genres. But the vocals were bad. And I'm going to explain to you why the vocals were bad. Because he never, ever, ever took vocal training serious, unlike Mario. You could tell. What I was disturbed with Omarion was when him and his brother Omarion went out there with the watermelon to teach you how to perform oral. First of all, you know the image of watermelon is synonymous with black people. Your ADOS, your FBA. You come from California. You grew up celebrating Juneteenth, I bet. You know better. You know better. Okay? And for the record, I know Orion is your little brother, but y'all was basically doing that to upstart and show off and like make Omarion look pretty bad. But Orion never really sold records. And I'm gonna get into that. Now, when Mario saw that, Mario threw shade and said, "You saw them eating watermelon? That's embarrassing that you gotta do that. Why would you eat watermelon on stage and you black? Like that's pitiful." And when he did that, I said Mario was gonna win. He gonna take it. Every song he did a dance to it, except for one. Omarion, without B2K, and I said this decades ago. I said Omarion is not gonna be big like you think, because he didn't stay with B2K long enough. They broke up too soon. They had 2 more albums under them. He needed to have been developed, and Chris Stokes did not develop him properly. Mario had proper development. He was signed to J Records. That's Clive Davis's baby right there. He had Alicia Keys mentoring him. He had the best of the best, and he proved that he is worthy of reclaiming his top spot, and he's going to. He beat them all. He beat Omarion. He beat Bobby Valentino. Even though I think he should be a runner-up. He beat Sammie. He beat pleasurep. And we're not going to even mention rayj because he shouldn't even been there in the beginning. But I want to talk about Omarion because I want to explain to you why Omarion's solo career didn't blow up. And I want to go more into it. B2K was signed to one of the worst management companies, TUG, the Ultimate Group. And TUG was a front. And I'm not going to say what the front is, but it starts with a P. That's all I'm going to say. A lot of those groups that focus on children, and they only deal with teen acts. If you notice, the groups never really sell as much as they should. And they always end up breaking when they're still teens. That is because the people there, as far as the management and the workers of those labels, they know what's really going on. They're not there to make those kids stars. They're there to exploit them, whether it's financially, whether it's emotionally, mentally, and I ain't going to say the other one. Okay? You know what it is. When they get older, they have no more use for them, so they toss them out. Okay? And if you don't believe me, just look at Menudo Siempre Joven, which means Menudo Forever Young. That is a 4-part documentary series on HBO right now. I suggest you all look at it because you will compare and see the parallels between Menudo, Edgardo Diaz, and Chris Stokes with TUG, B2K, and even Immature. That's what happened with Omarion. Omarion is still stuck as a teen talent. He never got to really be an adult talent. Mario did become an adult talent. He was in Rent live on Fox. He even did movies. He's done Dancing with the Stars. He's toured all over the world. He's done like charity tours. Like he's a real taking serious talent. And he was part of a production writing team called the Night Writers with Marsha and Verzuz. But he left it in 2010. He's really official. Omarion suffered something that many of them did. Even, not Omarion. Mario suffered what many of the R&B acts did in the late 2000s. The arrival of Drake. When Drake came along in 2009, it was the worst thing that happened. And that was the time when he released his fourth album. And he released that song Breakup, which you could say it was number 1 on iTunes, but it was number 2 R&B. But he was really coming back. And then they oversaturated Drake on the radio. And all of them never recovered from that. Except for Omarion had that hit, supposed to be. But what helped him was it was with Chris Brown. But Mario never got the steam back because of Drake. And because of that, everyone suffered. Omarion signed to Maybach Music. He had cut his hair and tried to do a whole new image. And it didn't really work. Then he left and went with another label. He had a song called You Like It, which was excellent. It didn't do anything because everybody turned to focus on Drake. And from 2009 to about, I would say, 2018, Drake had the game on lock. Because Drake not only rapped, he could harmonize. He could come out with songs where he was, quote unquote, singing like it was R&B. So it was like a 2-for-1 deal. So Lil Wayne took advantage of it, and all those people suffered from it. That's what happened with the music. It put a cap on it. But Drake would have never been able to do that. Lil Wayne would have never been able to take advantage of that if it wasn't for the record labels investing more in the talent and not just turning out hits to make them reach the top 20 and then don't do anything with the artists. These one-hit wonders. They didn't develop them right. And now you got this dude that people are saying is a legend, which he shouldn't be considered a legend like that because he got it. I'm going to say it with payola. He was bought. The airtime was bought for him. Every song you heard, every hour, it would be like 5 songs with Drake. Either Drake by himself or Drake featured on a song. And nobody really talks about that. And it needs to be talked about because that's what paved the way for all the BS that we have now. So, in closing, this Verzuz was good for Mario. He's going to come back. And I want to say something. Jeremiah is another one. He came out in 2009 with that horrible birthday sex song. Jeremiah can't sing. And Mario was looking like, what the hell? It was really bad. And all those that came out after, I would say, 2007, like really by 2009, not good. Not good. But Mario got it. And he dropped that new song with Chris Brown. And I'm going to tell you something. Chris Brown and Usher got to do that Verzuz. I know they don't want to do it. But they got to do that Verzuz. That will be the biggest viewed Verzuz. The most viewed one. And I want to say something. Yes, Chris Brown does talk about Michael Jackson paving the way for him. But we have to mention that Mario, and I've always said this, that Mario helped to really pave that last way, that last pavement for Chris Brown. He was that stepping stone for Chris, not Omarion. Mario. They was on the same label because they are both singers. Omarion is not a singer. He's a dancer who can hit a tune. But Chris Brown was, the 2000s version of Michael Jackson. Usher was the 90s and early Michael Jackson. But Chris Brown was the second half of the 2000s, Michael Jackson. And Omarion, I keep saying Omarion. Mario was more, he was Mario. But for Chris to arrive, you needed someone to sort of be that act to prepare the consciousness for him. And I believe that single with Mario and Chris Brown is going to be dope. And it's going to be a hit this summer. And I'm a day one Mario fan, and he made me proud. And with that being said, it's your girl, Miss Ann I'm signing off. I know this was long, but I had to do it. And in closing, rayj, you don't ever need to be on stage singing again. And thank you for listening. Hit the like button, notification button, share, comment. And if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you and have a wonderful day.